welcome to the Mulligan Menace. Today we're playing some Mono Blue Artifact Affinity aggro deck here. Really a neat one here. Before I get into it though, I want to have you guys hit that subscribe button below. Fairly new channel, really trying to grow, get the algorithm to help us out here. Get those subscribers, trying to get over 1,000 subs. So please hit that button, hit the like icon if you can. Comment below on what types of decks you'd like to see. All that helps the algorithm so I can show this video to more people. And I post daily content up on YouTube. So if you want to see the latest decks that I post, please subscribe. Let's get into the deck here. This is actually a deck list from that I saw somebody else play on YouTube, Man. Really thought it was a neat one. I always loved playing the Affinity. I previously have already done a Helm deck on this channel, and I really liked how it played, and that was a blue-red deck if I remember right. I just like the idea of the inclusion of the Affinity cards in here, and keeping it monocolor just makes the mana base that much easier for everybody. I know a lot of the people that watch the videos really enjoy the monocolor decks just because they don't have to pay for so many lands and everything for their use up their wild cards for that. So the whole idea is you're dropping artifacts, as many as you can, to get up to your affinity creatures, both the Memory Guardian and the Aerial Unit. So if you notice, both of these are 5 casting cost or more. Even with the affinity, it's still treated as a card that's 5 casting cost or more, which means both those cards trigger when they hit the battlefield. They trigger Helm, and whenever a mana value of 5 or greater enters, you attach this. So automatically, those creatures can become a much larger creature than what they currently are. So the benefit of that is obviously you have a massive creature, but you also have something like the Lava Spur Boots. So in this situation, you can actually possibly cast a 1 casting cost Guardian onto the battlefield. It'll end up getting +5/+5, and then you can attach this to it, and it can attack in right away for 8 damage in the air, which is huge. Otherwise, same thing with the Aerial Unit. It just costs 1 more because you have 2 blue, and you can attack in. You have a ton of artifacts here that are going to help you out to do that. Cogwork Wrestler. This is a really neat one because it has flash on it. You can really catch decks off guard with this because this is not a common card that people see. So if you have 1 open mana for a blue, you're going to see those green decks attack in with those Llanowar elves, and not thinking you're going to be able to do anything with it. You'll drop this, you'll kill their elf, or if they have another creature coming in, you can actually kill it off or reduce its power too. In addition to that, so you end up taking no damage and possibly kill off one of their 1/1s or something like that. Really handy little card. But the big thing is, it counts as an artifact. It's 1 casting cost, and you can get it down fast. We have the Siren here, not an artifact itself, but it creates a map token, which is very important. We do have 4 lab ships here. I was really leaning in hard to the lab ship to turn these on, at least to get to the 2+, but I was turning them on to the 9+ quite often. In the situations where I didn't have the Lava Spur Boots, you can really have these drop down and turn on your lab ships. 4/4 Vigilance is awesome, because they're probably not going to have flying that's out there to block these, which means you're going to get him for 4 damage. You'll keep it back behind for a blocker. You don't feel terrible if you lose it. Plus, it triggers anything for that 2/2, which means those map tokens can become 2/2 creatures, which you can also then tap and add to this to get up to that 9 if you need to. Also, those 2/2 creatures can get in for quite a bit of little sneaky damage in there because a lot of times people will be tapped out in those situations. So very handy to do that in that case. If you want to create a Helm or a Boots or a map token, all to attack in. Now keep in mind, you can give anything a base powered toughness 2/2 and flying. So if you need to, you can throw it on the Escort or you can throw it on a Wrestler and give it that sneaky evasion of flying and get around a lot of that stuff that's there. Otherwise, we have 2 Diversion Units as well in here. Just handy to keep up for countering spells, but it also is a 2/1 flying artifact. So it can get in for quite a bit of damage while it's just sitting there waiting. So it is handy for that. Quantum Riddler. This is your draw spell in the deck. Don't be afraid to just warp this in and draw. But the idea is you can do the same combo with Riddler. You warp it in. You can attach the boots. If you had the Helm in play, it'll get +5/+5, which means this is going to be a 9/11 attacking in just using its warp cost. And then obviously you can cast it later on then once you get 5 land as well for that. So really neat deck. We do have one in the Sanctuary as well in here. just because we're mono blue in that situation. So no point not to play a one of it there. But all in all, it's a fun deck. I really enjoy playing these Helm decks. They're just a neat, different take on aggressive deck using bigger creatures. So really enjoy that. Let's get into the gameplay. All right, Mono Blue Artifact. We got some fun cards here. We got the Helm, we got the boots, got even the Siren. This actually looks like a really good one. Let's keep it. Let's get... Let's get this down first. We can trigger the map with... I guess we need to pump it up. Let's do this. Maybe we just want to get more artifacts on the board. They're going to burn out the Siren. It's perfectly fine. Let's get this one down. Kind of save the Helm as a surprise. We can use these to flash in on their turn. Wow, okay. Well, let's just get this down. We're sitting on 4 artifacts, so if we draw any of our big stuff, we can actually get it down most likely. Okay, Higher Claw. Okay, I'm actually okay with them burning it on that stuff. Alright, we got that. We can double flash to get the Higher Claw if they tap out. Let's see if they tap out. Look at that. Double block. They got removal? They don't. Might as well just trigger one of these. We'll keep that up top. Gonna be a beast here because it's gonna get both the helms. Yep, that's fine. Give it haste. Let it explore. Sure. Keep these back. 13 damage. Look at that thing. Well, you can block with it. You can get in for 4 too. I don't know how he's going to handle a warded 13. Good game. All right, let's look at this hand. We have 3 land, 2 sirens, an escort, and a Riddler. Let's keep it. That might come in handy for us. Um... Attacking with the one. We'll drop the escort. I was trying to figure out a way to kill the chocobo by flashing this in, but he's going to drop lance. Could be 3 power. Ultimately, it'll just be a block. Okay, that's good to know they don't have any lands in hand. So there is a chance they're going to get a good card next turn here. The neat thing is we can flash in the Wrestler to, like, mitigate the Hydras. Or actually, no, that goes by counters, I think, on that. Tifa is the one that I'm thinking of for power. We'll do this. I think we just need to draw on some threats here. Let's warp this in. Attack in for 1. We're going to flash in a Wrestler no matter what. We'll just see what ends up, what we end up doing here. They do have a Hydra. Okay, so it gets a counter. We'll flash that in. Sure. All right, we got the 1 flyer. So let's see here. What do we want to do? We can get this down. It will allow us to sacrifice. Let's do that. Get this down. We still have that open then. Can attack in, attack in. What does he want to do? He knows I have a counter up if needed, so I'm not sure what he's really thinking. The kicker is I also have the Wrestler that I can do some stuff with. Okay, Elf, not a big deal. Okay, we can't counter that. Which means the Hydra's gonna get a little larger. Alright. We can counter the next one, possibly, depending on what it is. I mean, he has 4 mana available. I think we still flash this in. Another Quantum. Well, just not drawing what we need to here. Let's warp this to get the draw. Okay, we didn't draw our haste artifact, unfortunately. Drop this. I think we're going to put it on the escort. No, that's not going to do enough. I'm going to attack in with all of those. He has 3 to pay. So he's just going to do a straight up block there. Get rid of the escort. So you got another card in hand? Interesting. That was kind of a waste of 1 for that. I will just keep this up just in case. Okay, that'll get him some land here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He is dead next turn from the flying. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flying. He has to kill me here. I don't think he has enough. It all depends what that last card is, to be honest with you. He makes me sacrifice our diversion unit. We're going to be really relying on the map token. All right, play your last card. Come on. Draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Those creatures gain indestructible until the end of turn. Well, he already dropped his land, so he can't do another land. He does have an elf, so he can do a bushwhack or a veil. I think I'm okay with that. That's trample. All right, good game. All right, we go first. We do have 2 land here, and we have a whole bunch of affinity artifacts. Fortunately, we do have the siren and the helm here. I'd like to find that haste. Try to get in for a couple pings here with the siren early on. Okay, that is a pretty good card because it counts as an artifact. It gives our affinity down. We will not be sacrificing. We need as many artifacts on the board as we can. This does have flash, so we can wait till their turn. If they want to counter it, they can counter it. All right, that worked out pretty good. See if they want to counter this. They do. All right. We didn't draw our land, unfortunately, so we didn't have the... I could have ran this out, but I knew there was counters floating around. I'm actually going to do this for the draw. Because if they want to counter it, I'm actually okay with that. we're not gonna cast it for a while now, so we're just really trying to find that land. Man, we are just not getting what we need to do here. Fortunately, we can drop this and get the helm attached to it. Did I miss something here? Did he have mana floating? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, I didn't see that ability on there. One less to cast. We'll just attack in. Well, that was a really nice counter that they had. I still have more counters, don't they? What are they up to here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We are pinging them down here. What does the flood counters do on this thing? I don't play against this thing. Whenever. What a flood counter. It's an island in addition to other lands as long as there's a flood counter on it. The first island or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs. Okay. Oh, for each. Okay, so it gets multiple. Well, unfortunately, we don't have our boots here. I think we got to run this out and just hope they don't have a counter. Man, they're playing mono counters here. Nope. They got bounces now? They have something to interact with us. Yeah, don't want that. Don't want that. You could turn that on, which is really nice. Okay, that becomes a 2/2. That's fine. We're down to 7. So they must have something to take care of the aerial unit, is my guess. All right. Good game. All right, opponent goes first on this one. We do have 2 lands. We have a Siren and Lab Ship that can get down early. Look at this. We got the combo we're looking for here. We got the helm and the boots. Obviously, we can get the aerial unit down and tack in as long as we have an extra mana to equip it. We'll keep that. Start with the Siren. Do need to get 4 more artifacts here to really get this casting cost down. Makes me a little nervous about what they got. Let's cast this. They might have a counter here. Okay. Let's trigger this. Okay. So we can cast this. They've got counters. This is going to kind of screw things up, but we can cast this. There's the counter. Can still cast that, though. Take action. We'll station this with that. Station this with that. We'll make this attack in. All right, good game. All right, we go first. We have some land, siren, a lab ship, diversion unit, and the boots. Boots is good for something like the Riddler. So we might slow out the Riddler till we can have the boots on the field. Let's get the siren in play. I think I'll do the lab ship and the boots. Okay. It'll also allow us to turn on the lab ship next turn by casting the diversion unit. Actually, let's get the Riddler out. Draw a card. We put the boots on it. Yeah, we'll do it that way. That might have just changed things. Let's see how we got here. Okay. We can cast both those, but ultimately we can't attack in if we do it that way. We can get the Riddler down. The warp attack in, we won't have any defenses. It's 4 damage doing it that way. Maybe I just want to do it this way. And we can turn on I'm going to trigger it again here. Put it on that. We'll attack in. We still got 2 damage in. We got a lot more artifacts down. These are permanent. They're not going to warp out. I don't have a problem with warping this in. Okay, Sephiroth. Okay. Take 3. Okay, this needs to get up to 9, so I need 4 more on that. I mean, ultimately, I guess that is the play here. Is warp this, draw a card. I can trigger this. Ooh, that's pretty good for next turn then. We'll do this just so we can get the blocker. We're going to be able to do a lot of damage as well. All right, good game. All right, Mono Blue Artifact Affinity. This was a fun deck to play. Really enjoy the Helm, being able to get thrown on these creatures and just attack in with the boots. The combo of the boots and Helm, I always loved seeing those in my opening hand because not only do they count for artifacts, they're cheap to get down, but it is really cool when you can get these big guys down. Escort's a weird one. It's great in this deck, but the problem is there's only 2 cards that can turn this on. I mean, technically you got 4 copies of each. Otherwise, this is pretty much just stuck at being either 2 if you have a unit, or just a 1 from all these other ones here. So it is a little bit unfortunate that this doesn't get blown up as much as you'd like it, but it does have the ability that if you have a lab ship in play, it can get flying in there, and then somehow if you can get Helm attached to it, or if you happen to drop a Guardian or Aerial unit and you have a turned on lab ship here, that means you can create a flying creature that is a 7/7 flyer, or 7/4 flyer, I should say, without even having any issue. And that can be without having a helm or boots in play, which is nice. Just have to get the aerial unit down. So a lot of little sneaky little tricky plays you can do with this deck. Definitely a fun one to play. I suggest picking it up if you are pretty close to it on wild cards. It's really not too crazy considering it just uses islands for the most part. There is only a handful of cards like Riddler is there, Escort. Otherwise, is there much other? Okay, we have the lab ships, and then obviously the helm. So really not too crazy for wild cards on this one. So hope you enjoyed the game. Please hit the subscribe button below. Really trying to get to 1,000 subs, so really do appreciate that. Do that. Hit the like button. Comment below. It all helps with the algorithm. Otherwise, have a fantastic day.